Part 72. From the City to the Strongest in the Universe. Author, G. Difeng Ren. Chapter 711. In the territory of the Demon Clan, the Demon Snake Master looked at the fallen Suanhuo in the battle space, and his face was extremely gloomy at this time. Boom. Taiwan Novel Network Rightward Arrow Diamond Suit. Diamond Suit. Behind him, the world shattered, and an area of unknown size turned directly into a world of chaos, completely destroyed. Idiot. Suanhuo, this idiot, the Demon Snake Master said angrily. Does he have nothing to do? Does he have to provoke human Li Yang? Of course, what happened before him, Xianhuo met the human Li Yang, took the initiative to provoke and even asked for a fight, but the result was this. The evil genius of their demon clan, who had practiced for 20,000 years and became the Emperor Suanhuo, died, and his fame had only spread for 2 months. In his opinion, it is impossible for Li Yang to die as long as the devouring token is there. Since he can't be killed, why bother with him? And with this provocation, Xianhuo risked his own life. The face of the Demon Snake Master was gloomy, and the eyes of the Demon Snake Master also revealed the murderous intent. In a short period of time, human Li Yang's strength has become so terrifying. Human Li Yang must die. In 200 years, this human being, Li Yang, actually had a powerful emperor-level strength, which is simply impossible to happen in the universe. The realm of gods alone is comparable to that of powerful emperors. When Li Yang truly breaks through and becomes an emperor, won't he be able to easily match the top emperors? When he becomes the top emperor, will this human Li Yang be invincible at the emperor level? Can you even fight against the dominant level? Those who are invincible in the realm of gods can barely fight against the emperor, or even escape from the emperor's hands. Among the powerful emperors, there are also very few who defy the heavens. In their hands, even the top emperors will be killed instantly. Even if they fight against the master, they can barely escape. The intimidating power of such strong men is too great, even no less than that of a master. This is the invincible and powerful emperor. However, there are only 10 powerful people of this level in the entire universe, not even one from the human race or the demon race. However, judging from Li Yang's current performance, it is entirely possible to achieve it in the future. With his talent, it is still very difficult to break through and become a master. However, it will not be difficult for Li Yang to become a top emperor in the future, and once he does, human Li Yang will be an invincible emperor, a super strong man who can easily kill the top emperor in an instant. Not only the demon clan, but also other major alien races were also shocked by Li Yang's fighting strength, but then their eyes revealed a murderous intent. Human Li Yang must die. After practicing for more than 200 years, he has such strength that he can kill the emperor at the level of gods. When human Li Yang becomes the emperor in the future, he will definitely be an invincible emperor-level powerhouse. In terms of intimidation power, the powerful ones at the invincible level are no weaker than the dominators. Even the top emperors will be easily killed by the invincible emperor. Quick, quick. We can't let human Li Yang continue to grow. What's the use of being anxious? Human Li Yang is staying in the inheritance place and is protected by the devouring token. Who can kill him? If you want to kill him, you can only wait for him to come out of the inheritance land and come out of the human race territory. Diamond Suit. Diamond Suit. Diamond Suit. Diamond Suit. Yes, with the strength of a powerful emperor, if you want to kill him, you must be at least a top emperor. Even if he stays in the human race, we don't have any chance. Each of the aliens was full of murderous intent and anxious. There are powerful people who infiltrate and lurk among the major ethnic groups, but the most powerful lurkers have already reached the level of ordinary emperors. It is impossible for a top emperor to specifically lurk in foreign races. Therefore, they could only hold back the murderous intention in their hearts and wait anxiously. Only when Li Yang leaves the land of inheritance, or even leaves the territory of the human race, Will they have a chance? The Monster Clan and other major ethnic groups are filled with murderous intent, but at this time, the Human Emperor Alliance space is a completely different scene. Before, Li Yang's strength suddenly exploded, and all the powerful emperors in the human race were also shocked. The demon clan Suanhuo was killed. Li Yang really has the strength of an emperor, not only the strength of an emperor, but also the strength of a powerful emperor. More than half of them had questioned Li Yang before, thinking that Li Yang could not possibly have the power of an emperor. However, Li Yang at this time undoubtedly slapped them hard in the face. At this time, Li Yang not only showed the strength of the emperor, but also far exceeded the ordinary emperor. Most of the nearly 10,000 emperors in the human race are just ordinary emperors. In other words, Li Yang's strength has surpassed most of them at this time. Although they were shocked, these human emperors quickly adjusted their mentality. That's amazing. Li Yang deserves to be the most evil genius in our human race. Haha, it took 20,000 years for the demon clan Suanhuo to become an emperor. He has great potential and poses a great threat to our clan. I didn't expect to be killed by Li Yang so quickly. Li Yang killed well. Many of the human emperors had smiles on their faces. Although they had doubted Li Yang's strength before, they had no contradiction or conflict with Li Yang. Now, Li Yang has shown such strong strength, and also killed the evil genius Xianhuo who suddenly emerged from the demon clan. These are undoubtedly good things for the human race. They are both from the human race, and as high-level officials, they are naturally happy. Daolu, it was all our fault before, for doubting Li Yang. You must let Li Yang enter the Emperor Alliance space later, and we will apologize to him properly. Daolu, congratulations to your disciple for having such strength. You have a good disciple. The emperors looked at Daolu sect master again, smiling. Haha, I'll contact Li Yang later. Seeing his disciple kill the demon Xianhuo neatly in the battle space, Daolu sect master also showed an extremely bright smile on his face. Almost all the emperors of the human race were mostly happy, but there were still a few emperors who were not happy at this time. For example, Emperor Yang Yuan, who was always inaccurate in judging people. At this time, Emperor Yang Yuan clenched his fists and looked at the battle space in front of him, watching the demon Xianhuo of the emperor's strength die. How is it possible? Emperor Yang Yuan clenched his fists, and there was still a trace of disbelief in his eyes. In a short time, Li Yang was able to kill the emperor. Next to Emperor Yang Yuan was Emperor Jin Xiao. Looking at Yang Yuan, Emperor Jin Xiao sighed. He had long advised Emperor Yang Yuan to make friends with Li Yang while he was still stronger than Li Yang, but Emperor Yang Yuan did not listen at all, thinking that with his own strength as an emperor, there was no need to please Li Yang. But now, Li Yang suddenly showed such strength. God realm, kill the emperor. With such potential, even if Li Yang cannot become a master in the future, he will most likely become an invincible emperor in the future. Looking at the many human emperors in front of him, one by one, they want to make friends with Li Yang, and you will know how great the deterrent power of the invincible emperor is. Thanks to 08 for the 100 reward, thank you. From the city to the strongest in the universe. Author, G. Difeng Ren. Chapter 712. Looking at Emperor Yang Yuan, Emperor Jin Jiao said nothing more. Before, Li Yang was only in the realm of gods. If Emperor Yang Yuan lowered his status to make friends, Li Yang might be very polite. After a few exchanges, the contradiction between them might be eliminated soon. But now, Li Yang's strength has reached the level of a powerful emperor, and he can even kill ordinary emperors. With such strength, Li Yang probably wouldn't care at all if Emperor Yang Yuan, who is only an ordinary emperor, made friends with him, and he might even ignore him directly. Li Yang is qualified now. Searched Can on Google. Killing Suanhuo of the demon clan undoubtedly caused a huge shock to the outside world. At this time, in the battle space, Li Yang waved his right hand, and Suanhuo's body disappeared, and various treasures on his body appeared in front of Li Yang. Among them, a sword and a pair of combat boots undoubtedly had the most amazing fluctuations. Two ordinary holy artifacts. Looking at the treasure, Li Yang smiled. It's really easy to get this holy artifact. In addition to these two holy artifacts, Xianhuo also had various other scattered treasures on him, and the prices were also amazing. After all, he was the most powerful genius of the demon race, so of course he had many treasures on him, but now they were all cheap for Li Yang. Let's go. With a thought in his mind, Li Yang's figure disappeared directly from the battle space, and he appeared in the outside world again. The human Li Yang has come out. A few seconds ago, he was still confronting the demon genius Suanhuo, but now Suanhuo has died. Who would have thought that an emperor could not defeat a god? Speaking of which, the death of Suanhuo of the demon clan was really a pity. He had just become famous and was at his most dazzling time, but he suddenly fell. It's good that he died. At least the threat of the demon clan is gone. Even so, but the human Li Yang has revealed a greater threat. 200 years, the god realm is comparable to the powerful emperor. When the human Li Yang becomes the emperor, will the human race have another emperor invincible level? The emperors who were watching saw Li Yang appear. At this time, their eyes were full of murderous intent, and they also showed a trace of fear. At this time, Li Yang was no longer a weak lamb in their eyes. Even most of them were not Li Yang's opponents. Human Li Yang. Seeing Li Yang appear, the Emperor Xianglun shouted angrily, his face was ferocious, and the aura fluctuations on his body seemed to be released, wanting to attack Li Yang. The demon genius of their demon clan, Suanhuo, who had just been accepted as a disciple by the founder of their demon clan, fell and was killed by Li Yang. Their demon clan suffered a huge loss in a short period of time. If he grows up normally, Suanhuo of the demon clan will at least be a top emperor in the future. There are only a dozen top emperors in the entire demon clan, which shows the significance of such a strong man to the clan. Not to mention that Suanhuo of the demon clan may even become the master in the future. But in the end, Suanhuo of the demon clan stayed at the level of an ordinary emperor, and he could never make any progress after being resurrected. Looking at the furious Emperor Xianglun, Li Yang showed a smile at the corner of his mouth and said, "Emperor Xianglun, thank you for your sacred war knife." Hearing this, Emperor Xianglun became even more angry. Not only did Suanhuo die, but his sacred war knife was also gone, and was obtained by Li Yang. However, at this time, Emperor Xianglun could only look furious, and dared not release the aura fluctuations on his body. He could only endure it and dared not take action at all. With the devouring token and the order of Thunder Ancestor, if he released a trace of aura fluctuations to Li Yang, he would most likely be expelled from this inheritance land. Emperor Xianglun is probably very frustrated now. Their demon clan has really lost face this time. The most powerful demon genius in the clan, even the demon Suanhuo, who was rumored to be no less than Li Yang, was killed by Li Yang, a human at the level of a god, at the level of an emperor. This is definitely a joke. In the next period of time, in the inheritance land, the inheritors of the demon clan will probably be laughed at. A powerful alien around looked at Emperor Xianglun and talked in a voice transmission. They were obviously a little gloating at this time. They hated the human race and the demon race. Now that the demon genius of the demon race has fallen, they are of course happy in their hearts. At this time, Emperor Xianglun also noticed the eyes of many powerful alien races around him who were watching the show. He finally snorted coldly and turned away. He was worried that he would not be able to help but attack Li Yang here. At this time, Emperor Xianglun was also worried. He had been leading the demon race Suanhuo before. He could have stopped this battle just now, but the final result was like this. Now the demon race Suanhuo has fallen, and he is likely to be punished. Looking at the back of Emperor Xianglun's departure, Li Yang's eyes flashed. Demon race. After killing the demon race Suanhuo this time, it is estimated that the demon race hates him even more. If he appears, even the demon race master may attack him. However, Li Yang has nothing to fear. Greater pressure will only make him stronger faster. Brother Li Yang, your strength really scared me. The voice of the eighth brother Emperor Yunmi came to my ear. At this time Emperor Yunmi was indeed shocked. Before, he had doubts whether Li Yang had the strength of an emperor. However, the strength shown by Li Yang not only reached the level of an emperor, but even reached the level of a powerful emperor. He, Emperor Yunmi, was accepted as a disciple by the eternal ancestor, so his talent was naturally extraordinary, but in front of Li Yang, there was no comparison at all. When he was in the invincible level of the God realm, he did not cross the realm and could not match the emperor. Hearing this, Li Yang smiled and said, "Luck." "Haha, junior brother Li Yang, you are too modest," Emperor Yunmi said with a smile. The two of them said a few words, and Li Yang looked forward and said, "Eighth senior brother, let's go." "Yes," Emperor Yunmi nodded. The two of them walked towards the exit of the inheritance land. Along the way, I don't know how many strong people were watching them at this time. Seeing them come to the exit of the membrane, his eyes lit up. Is human Li Yang going to leave the inheritance land? Many alien strong people knew that Li Yang had a swallowing token. In this inheritance land, Li Yang with a swallowing token could not be killed at all, unless the creator took action. So, even if they were full of murderous intent towards Li Yang, they could only watch. They were eager for Li Yang to leave the inheritance place immediately, but they didn't expect their wish to come true so soon. Haha, human Li Yang is finally leaving. This time, human Li Yang might come out from the human territory. After all, it takes tempering to break through to become an emperor. Yes, if you just practice in seclusion without tempering, even the most evil genius can't break through to a higher level. Wait for human Li Yang to come out from the human territory, then it will be the best time to kill him. End of this chapter. You are listening to Novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. Please subscribe to receive new novels. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. From the City to the Strongest in the Universe. Author, G. Difeng Ren. Chapter 713. One by one, the powerful foreigners were discussing excitedly. The gods' training ground is the killing field, and the emperor naturally has some training ground as well. Every strong person must go through life and death killings to grow up. Only in this way can he have many feelings, and these feelings are of great benefit to breakthroughs. Therefore, even if there are tens of millions of inheritors in this place where the law of fusion is inherited, only 1 million are actually inside at this time, and the other 9 million are honing their skills outside. After a period of time, there may be people who have been trained from the outside and come back, and the 1 million strong people inside will go out again. This is the way to practice. Under the gaze of everyone, Li Yang and the Emperor of Destruction flew out of the membrane space, then entered the space teleportation array and disappeared. Quick, spread the news. Human Li Yang must have gone to hone his skills this time. If we can't kill him in the inheritance land, there is a greater chance of killing him in the outside world. As Li Yang left, news here quickly spread. Inside the aircraft, Li Yang looked at the watch in his hand. There are quite a few people looking for me. Li Yang looked at the messages. Most of these messages were sent by the emperors of the human race. Congratulations to him for having such strength. Sure enough, strength is still the foundation of everything. Before, his strength was weak, and not many emperors of the human race truly regarded him as a strong man. At most, they were polite. But now that his strength has been revealed, the attitudes of these emperors have undoubtedly become much more enthusiastic. Junior brother Li Yang, the Emperor Alliance space is probably very busy now. Let's all go in and have a look next to him, the Emperor of Destruction said with a smile. Both of their consciousnesses directly entered the virtual world. The entire Human Emperor Alliance space was indeed lively at this time, with tens of thousands of emperors appearing inside. There are not only the emperors of the human race, but also the emperors of the vassal tribes and united tribes of the human race. Inside, Li Yang even saw the emperors of the two natural groups of gods, the Fire Nether Divine Beast clan and the Time Divine Tree clan. The Fire God Beast group and the Time God Tree group are both vassal groups of the human race, and the emperors of their groups are naturally in the alliance space of the human emperors. Li Yang. Seeing Li Yang, the emperors who were discussing all looked over, and then the emperors of the human race came forward with smiles on their faces. Haha, congratulations Li Yang. I didn't expect that in such a short period of time, Li Yang, your strength has reached such an extent. The emperors of the human race said with warm smiles on their faces. The emperors and strong men of the vassal ethnic groups and the united ethnic groups are obviously not as good as the human race, and they are on the outermost side at this time. After all, they are the evil geniuses of the human race. Are they pushing to the front to congratulate Li Yang? The human race is so powerful. It is already so powerful, and yet there is such a monster genius within the race. It's incredible. After more than 200 years, he can match the powerful emperor and even kill ordinary emperors. This Li Yang is completely the monster among monsters. There is not even a top emperor in our clan, and the strongest one is the powerful emperor who masters the two fusion laws. Li Yang's strength is the strongest among our clan. Now that Li Yang is in the divine realm, he has such strength. When he becomes an emperor in the future, Li Yang's strength will be even more terrifying. The human race will have another super strong person in the future. Hey, why doesn't such a monster genius appear in our clan? If it does, our clan is willing to spend all the resources in the clan to cultivate it. The foreign emperors couldn't help but talk, with envy in their eyes. Among these foreign emperors, the emperor of the Fire Nether Beast tribe looked at Li Yang with complicated eyes. At the beginning, Li Yang went to their Fire Nether Beast clan to obtain the Fire Spirit Pearl. However, Li Yang at that time was extremely weak and was only in the Star Lord realm. If the leader of the Sword Slaughter sect hadn't come forward, the Fire Nether Divine Beast clan wouldn't have answered Li Yang at all. But now, Li Yang, who was only in the Star Lord realm and was extremely weak, has reached such a stage. There are only 10 emperors of the Fire Nether Beast clan, and the strongest one is only a powerful emperor. At this time, Li Yang's strength is completely comparable to the strongest in their tribe. And this time has only passed 200 years. For a slightly more powerful cultivator, 200 years is very short and will pass in the blink of an eye. I should have known that when Li Yang came to our clan would have been more enthusiastic and given some treasures. The emperor of the Fire Nether Beast clan shook his head. At first, they were only hindered by the request of the leader of the Sword Slaughter section, so after Li Yang arrived, they gave Li Yang a fire spirit bead and let Li Yang leave. They did not keep him at all. At most, they just maintained the appearance. You're welcome. Now it seems that if I had known that Li Yang would be so powerful one day, their Huoyu Divine Beast clan would have made every effort to make friends with him. After all, they are a vassal group of the human race, and Li Yang is likely to become a super strong man of the human race in the future. If they curry favor with Li Yang, it will definitely be of great benefit to them. However, they did not seize the opportunity at all, and Li Yang had no friendship with their tribe. Sighing secretly in his heart, the emperor of the Fire Divine Beast clan said to himself, "But my tribe also has the evil genius Huo Yan, and no one else knows about this news yet." Thinking of the progress of Huo Yan within his own group, the emperor of the Huo Nether Beast clan felt happy again. Human Li Yang is becoming more and more famous in the outside world, but not many people know that there is also an evil genius in their Fire Nether Beast clan. The people with similar thoughts to the Fire Nether Divine Beast group are the Time Divine Tree group. Compared to the Fire Nether Beast clan, they felt more regretful at this time. At least, when Li Yang went to the Fire Nether Beast clan, the Fire Nether Beast clan received him. But Li Yang had visited their tribe before, but was expelled by them and was not allowed to enter at all. Now that Li Yang has grown to this point, of course they regret it. At this time, Li Yang at least had no favorable impression of their Time God Tree clan, and might even have a hint of disgust. While feeling regretful, the Emperor of the Divine Tree clan thought of the genius days within his own clan, and his mood undoubtedly improved a lot. Although Li Yang is very talented, the genius time of our clan is not much different. His achievements in the future may not be worse than Li Yang's. Time, the peerless genius who had almost reached their Time Tree tribe with Li Yang, was well hidden by their tribe and had been practicing silently, and his progress rate was unparalleled. Even the emperors like them were constantly shocked. Of course, apart from being shocked, they were even more excited and ecstatic. Given some more time, then Time will definitely be able to possess the strength of an emperor, and even become the strongest member of their Time God Tree clan in the future. It's the last day, please give me a monthly ticket, thank you, thanks to Zero Eta for the 100 reward. End of this chapter. From the City to the Strongest in the Universe. Author, G. Difeng Ren. Chapter 714. On the other side, in front of Li Yang, the emperors of the human race were all smiling enthusiastically. Are you kidding? After practicing for 200 years, you can become a powerful emperor. And Li Yang is still just a god. I hope readers will remember our domain name Taiwan Novel Network rightward arrow. The gods alone have such strength. With Li Yang's potential, it will definitely not be a problem for him to become an emperor in the future. By then, he will be an invincible emperor. There is no invincible emperor in the entire human race. Li Yang, this is. When these emperors came, Daolu sect master was beside Li Yang to help introduce them. Even if Li Yang knew the identities of these emperors, he had never met them before. With someone introducing him, he would definitely get familiar with them quickly. Hello. Li Yang smiled and greeted the emperors of the human race one by one. Everyone has entered this circle, and the minimum familiarity must be achieved. Li Yang, congratulations. Suddenly, a familiar voice sounded beside his ear. Li Yang looked at the person who came. Basically, every emperor came to congratulate Li Yang, and the one who spoke just now was Emperor Yang Yuan. This Emperor Yang Yuan also came to congratulate me. Looking at Emperor Yang Yuan, Li Yang's expression did not change. He just nodded slightly, and then went to talk to other emperors. Diamond suit, diamond suit. He did not have a good impression of Emperor Yang Yuan. They were just like strangers to each other. Of course, this attitude was worse than that of strangers. After all, Li Yang still had a smile on his face when talking to other strangers. Haha, Li Yang, your strength has improved so fast. In a blink of an eye, you have surpassed us. After Emperor Yang Yuan, another emperor came. Looking at the emperor, Li Yang smiled and said, Emperor Jianhen is joking. It's just luck. He looked at the visitor, who was obviously much more enthusiastic. The visitor was another emperor in Yang Yuan's star continent, Emperor Jianhen. At the beginning, Lu Yu of Emperor Zunli's family went to deal with the earth and even sent gods to station on the earth, blatantly threatening Li Yang. Li Yang had to ask for help from the emperor. He asked Emperor Yang Yuan and Emperor Jianhen for help. As the ruler of Yang Yuan's star continent, Emperor Yang Yuan refused his help, but another emperor of Yang Yuan's star continent, Emperor Jianhen, came forward and asked those gods to leave the earth. Li Yang was still very grateful for this. Time flies, one emperor after another came to congratulate Li Yang, but soon left again. With so many emperors around, they couldn't always stay by Li Yang's side. Gradually, there were no longer a large number of emperors around Li Yang, but there were still a few emperors, and these emperors obviously had a good relationship with Li Yang. Among them are Li Yang's teacher Daolu sect master, Jianhen emperor of Yangyuan Xingzhou, Junyan emperor who helped Li Yang find his son Li Dong before, and Han Mo emperor who found out the mastermind behind the incident of Li Yang's son Li Dong. Several people stayed together, talking and laughing from time to time. Jianhen, Junyan, Han Mo and others have a much better relationship with Li Yang. They have all helped Li Yang before, so the relationship is naturally good. If I had known that Li Yang was so talented and growing so fast, I should have tried my best to help Li Yang before. It's too late. Now Li Yang has completely grown up. His strength is stronger than ours and he doesn't need our help at all. The emperors of the human race looked at the people who were talking with Li Yang with envy. Li Yang has such great potential that he will definitely become a top powerhouse in the future. There are more than 10 top emperors in the human race, but there is no emperor invincible in the entire human race, and Li Yang will most likely reach it in the future. This is a strong man who can fight with the master, and can be called the strongest under the master. Li Yang has become such a strong man. It is conceivable that there must be many human emperors who want to have a good relationship with Li Yang, and there are naturally many benefits. However, without special circumstances, their relationship with Li Yang is just an ordinary friendship. The friendship between strong people is accumulated through one thing after another. For example, Emperor Jianhen and Emperor Junyan have helped Li Yang before, and Li Yang is grateful in his heart, so the relationship between them is naturally better. There are nearly 10,000 emperors in the human race, and there must be a good relationship with each other, forming a small group. At this time, in everyone's view, Jianhen, Junyan, Hanmo, and others around Li Yang are obviously members of Li Yang's small group. When Li Yang grows up completely, the whole small group may benefit. Unfortunately, they didn't pay much attention to Li Yang before, but now they pay full attention to him, but Li Yang has grown to the point where he is now. It is almost impossible for them to join Li Yang's small group, unless there is something that can help Li Yang in the future. Look at Emperor Yang Yuan. As the ruler of Yang Yuan's star continent, he has such a bad relationship with Li Yang that he has not been able to squeeze into Li Yang's circle. Emperor Jianhen of Yang Yuan's star continent has a better relationship with Li Yang. I know this. When Lu Yu from Emperor Zunli's family dealt with Li Yang, as a genius in Yang Yuan's star continent, asked for help from Emperor Yang Yuan and Emperor Jianhen. Emperor Jianhen came forward to help him, but Emperor Yang Yuan did not. How stupid! He is the ruler of Yang Yuan's star continent, but he has such a bad relationship with the evil genius in his own star continent. Haha, it's no secret that Yang Yuan has no vision, and Emperor Jianhen has a bad relationship with Yang Yuan. Everyone looked at the emperors in Li Yang's group with envy, and then looked at Emperor Yang Yuan. They didn't say it out loud, but whispered and talked, as if they were watching a joke. People are afraid of comparison, and this comparison made them feel much better. At this time, Emperor Yang Yuan felt really uncomfortable. He glanced at Li Yang and his friends who were talking not far away. Even if he had overestimated Li Yang, even if he thought that Li Yang would become an emperor and stand on the same position with him thousands of years later. But Li Yang's potential exploded again. At this time, he was no longer even Li Yang's opponent. It's impossible to improve the chances with Li Yang. Emperor Yang Yuan felt uncomfortable. At this time, he suddenly remembered what Emperor Jinjiao had advised him before, advising him to make friends with Li Yang when he had not fully grown up and his strength was lower than his. The strong befriend the weak, and the weak cannot refuse, nor dare to refuse. After several times, he is the ruler of Yang Yuan Xingzhou again, saying that he will help Li Yang's family develop, etc., and give some benefits. His relationship with Li Yang will naturally improve. But he didn't listen at all. And now, Li Yang is stronger than him. Even if he wants to meet Li Yang, he may be directly rejected. If I really listened to what Jin Jiao said before. Emperor Yang Yuan shook his head. At this time, he really regretted it in his heart. The last chance to improve the relationship with Li Yang was gone. I don't know how Emperor Yang Yuan feels, and Li Yang doesn't care at all. After staying in the virtual world of the human race Emperor Alliance space for a long time, Li Yang withdrew again. From the city to the strongest in the universe. Author, G. Difeng Ren. Chapter 715. Begin practicing. Although we have left the inheritance land, we cannot stop practicing. Li Yang adjusted his mindset and silently comprehended the fusion law. In the 50 years of inheritance, he has mastered all 5 laws, and it is impossible that he has no mastery of the fusion law. The task of leaving the inheritance land now is to revive Han Mo, and after the resurrection is successful, return to the inheritance land. More than 3,000 years of inheritance, of course Li Yang can't give up. Taiwan Novel Network rightward arrow circled M. However, if inheritance is passed on without limit, the effect will become weaker and weaker. Otherwise, every strong man can become a top strong man by staying in the inheritance place. This is obviously impossible. If you want to make progress, everything is auxiliary, the key is to look at yourself. This time Li Yang left and waited until he had digested the comprehension of these 50 years before entering again, so that the effect would be the best. Of course, he must make the most of this inheritance place. For example, enter for 50 years, stay in the outside world for more than 10 years, and then enter for another 50 years. Now the time he is out is just used to digest the comprehension of the first 50 years. Time flies, and 2 months have passed quickly in Li Yang's comprehension, and Li Yang also returned to the eternal temple of the human race again. I'm back. Li looked at the familiar scene with a smile on his face. It was still the familiar Lianyuan Mountains. At that time, Li Yang had just participated in the genius selection and entered the eternal temple of the human race as a genius. He was a weak genius in the realm of law. As soon as he entered here, he saw the emperors coming one by one, vying to accept Hongsu as a disciple. How shocked Li Yang felt at that time. After all, in his weak view at that time, there was only one emperor in the entire Yangyuan star continent and billions of galaxies, but 7 appeared in front of him at once. After that, the legendary master came. For him who was weak, even the gods were like God to him, and the shock he caused at that time can be imagined. But now, Li Yang has set foot here again, and his strength has changed dramatically. The emperors who came and vying to accept Hongsu as disciples were basically ordinary emperors in terms of strength, and were no longer his opponents. At the bottom of the Lianyuan Mountains, several geniuses happened to pass by here. Look, it's Li Yang. Li Yang is back in the temple. 200 years ago, the selection of geniuses of Li Yang and Hongsu was the one with the highest quality in the entire human race. According to the teacher, now Hongsu has the strength of a top god. I heard that Li Yang's strength is even stronger than Hongsu, even surpassing the gods and reaching the level of the great emperor. When these geniuses saw Li Yang, they immediately started to discuss excitedly. The commotion caused by Li Yang before was too big, which caused the entire human race to be shocked. In addition to the emperor of the human race, many gods of the human race also knew about it. Gradually, a small number of geniuses who were accepted as disciples by the gods also knew about it. After all, those gods could use Li Yang and Hongsu to inspire these geniuses. Several geniuses were excited. The emperor, this is a great existence sitting in a star continent. Li Yang, who entered the temple 200 years earlier than them, can rival the emperor? When they saw Li Yang at this time, it was like seeing an idol with excitement and admiration in their eyes. When these geniuses looked at Li Yang also glanced at them. Another new face? Li Yang thought to himself that every time he came back to the temple, he could see new faces. The eternal temple of the human race would absorb new talents almost every once in a while. However, this is the real way for a race to develop. Only by constantly cultivating talents can the strength of the entire race become stronger and stronger. Go see the teacher, and then return to Earth. Li Yang quickly came to the eternal ancestor through the space teleportation array. Li Yang, you did a good job this time. Looking at Li Yang, the eternal ancestor had a smile on his face. Even he was a little concerned about the demon race Suanhuo. After all, there was a 1% chance of becoming the master. Unexpectedly, Li Yang killed him directly. Li Yang said respectfully, the demon race Suanhuo took the initiative to provoke, and the disciple did not expect to kill him so easily. The master and disciple talked for a while, and the eternal ancestor asked, "What are you going to do next?" Li Yang said respectfully, the disciple is going to leave the human race for a trip. After returning to Earth, Han Mo could not be fully resurrected, and he still needed some things. Han Mo prepared these things in another place, so Li Yang had to go there. Hearing this, the eternal ancestor nodded. He knew that Li Yang had a clone, so he was not worried about Li Yang's death. Be careful, and self-destruct immediately if you encounter something wrong. The eternal ancestor said, with the soul bead, even the master can't kill you directly. Even if you encounter the master, self-destruct immediately, the alien master will have no way to deal with you. Remember, any treasure can be abandoned, only your life is your own. As long as you keep living and your strength is getting stronger and stronger, the lost treasures will come back. Yes, teacher, I remember it, Li Yang said respectfully. Indeed, human life is the most important, just like Han Mo, even if he knows the whereabouts of a supreme holy weapon, what does it matter? If he hadn't met Li Yang, he would have been trapped in the crack space at the bottom of the earth for life and couldn't get out. Well, go. Disciple is leaving. Li Yang walked out of the palace. Deep in the palace, the eternal ancestor stood silently. After 2 seconds, he suddenly looked somewhere, with a smile on his face, and said, "Hunyuan, why didn't you tell me in advance when you came to my place?" Brush. After he finished speaking, a figure suddenly appeared next to him. This was an extremely burly figure, with a face like a dragon, but the whole body felt like it was made of steel, and the whole person gave people a huge feeling. Pressure. The person who can make the eternal ancestor speak like this is naturally the second founder of the human race, Hunyuan ancestor. In the entire universe, among the 10 ethnic groups with founders, only the human race and the monster race have 2 founders. The eternal ancestor and the chaotic origin ancestor are the Optimus pillars of the entire human race. Without them, the entire human race would have instantly become like the Kongli Jiaolong tribe and the Thunder Star Beast tribe, and would have been directly reduced to a second-class ethnic group in the universe. Hunyuan ancestor smiled and said, "Eternal life, your disciple has been making a lot of noise recently." He obviously also knew about Li Yang. Hearing this, the eternal ancestor smiled and said, "It's still a little worse than your disciples." It seems that the disciples of Hunyuan ancestor are more defiant than Li Yang. The two exchanged a few words casually, and then Hunyuan ancestor said, "Eternal life, I came here this time to prepare to go out and take the brilliant galaxy away temporarily." Hearing this, the eternal ancestor asked, "Which dangerous place are you heading to?" There was a hint of caution on the face of Hunyuan ancestor at this time. There is a supreme holy artifact there. Even if the possibility of its existence is extremely small, it is impossible for our human race not to fight for it. Our clan and the demon clan are equally powerful. In terms of strength, the two of us can defeat the 2 founders of the demon clan together. However, the demon clan has 2 supreme holy weapons. Relying on those 2 supreme sacred weapons, there is nothing we can do. In terms of treasure level, our human race is inferior to the demon race. The eyes of Hunyuan ancestor flashed with light, If our human race has another supreme holy weapon, with two supreme holy weapons, I alone can crush those two monsters. Thanks to my Leafugehand for the 823 reward, and to Zero Eta for the 100 reward, thank you. You are listening to Novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. Please subscribe to receive new novels. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. From the City to the Strongest in the Universe. Author, G. Difeng Ren. Chapter 716. The ancestor of Hunyuan has absolute confidence in his own strength. Just like an emperor using a powerful holy weapon, his strength can be displayed several times. The same is true for the supreme sacred artifact. Even the founder of the universe, the pinnacle of existence, can greatly improve his strength by using the supreme holy weapon. Regarding what the Hunyuan ancestor said, the eternal ancestor nodded. In terms of strength, the Hunyuan ancestor was definitely at the top of the universe. Unfortunately, there was no suitable supreme holy weapon. If there is one, its overall strength will skyrocket again. The strength at the top of the universe, if its strength increases sharply, what level will its strength reach? Hunyuan ancestor said in a deep voice, there must be more than one founding ancestor going there. I am sure to defeat any one of them, but it will be very troublesome once they join forces, and with the help of the brilliant galaxy, my advantage will be greatly increased. Hearing this, the eternal ancestor nodded and said, with me here, no foreign race dares to act recklessly. Take Hunyuan and brilliant galaxy with you. Hunyuan ancestor was not polite either. This brilliant galaxy was originally obtained by the eternal ancestor. When he came here and wanted to use it, he naturally needed to ask the eternal ancestor's opinion. Hold the right hand. Buzz. The huge flowing river was shrinking rapidly. The dazzling galaxy reaches 100,000 light-years in length. What is the concept of 100,000 light-years? The diameter of the entire Milky Way is only 100,000 light-years. This supreme holy instrument of the human race is as bright as the galaxy, even completely rivaling the size of the entire Milky Way. Just a slight fluctuation within it can even kill the Emperor instantly. The entire dazzling galaxy continued to shrink, and finally became less than a few thousand meters long, and was collected by the Hunyuan ancestor. Eternal, I'm leaving, and the human race will be left to you. With the brilliant galaxy in hand, the Hunyuan ancestor wasted no time and prepared to quickly go to the place where the supreme sacred artifact might exist. Don't worry, the eternal ancestor said. Although the brilliant galaxy was taken away, there is still a river flowing continuously in the core area of the human temple. After leaving the palace where the eternal ancestor was, Li Yang was about to arrive in front of the space teleportation array. His eyes suddenly looked at the river that had been flowing and seemed to last forever. At this time, the river was still the same river, but at this time, he keenly discovered that something seemed to have changed. Once the human race's supreme holy weapon disappears, it obviously means that the founder of the human race took it away and probably went out to do something. Therefore, even if the Hunyuan ancestor took the brilliant galaxy away, the eternal ancestor still used his strength to build an illusory brilliant galaxy so that the outside world would not know what was happening on the human race. There doesn't seem to be much power on this dazzling galaxy. Diamond suit, diamond suit, diamond suit, diamond suit. Li Yang was slightly confused and didn't know why it happened. He was in the place where the eternal ancestor lived, and the brilliant galaxy was also close at hand, so he had a clear feeling. However, after just a moment of doubt, Li Yang didn't take it to heart. But there is the eternal ancestor here. Even if there is any problem in the brilliant galaxy, the eternal ancestor can easily solve it, and it is not his turn to worry about it. Let's go. Li Yang left directly, and he came to the side of the sword slaughter sect master, and then left the temple and went directly to the earth. Virtual world, galaxy. Li Yang and Zhou Yao were walking on the street like ordinary lovers. Rightward arrow. Li Yang used his original face. With his fame, almost everyone in the galaxy could recognize him, but when people around him saw Li Yang, it was as if they hadn't seen him. It can be said that the virtual world and the real world are basically 100% identical. What kind of strength is in reality is what kind of strength is in the virtual world. So, there are various virtual battle arenas etc. to help fight. How terrifying is Li Yang's current strength? Naturally, you can easily influence other people's gaze. After being in seclusion for 50 years, Li Yang was also ready to spend time with his family. No matter how hard you practice, you still need to take some rest time and combine work with rest. This is also good for your practice. At this time, Li Yang and Zhou Yao were not on the Earth side of the virtual world, but wandering around the center of the galaxy. The center of the galaxy in the virtual world is very different from the outside world Li Yang's side. This is his first time to hang out here in the virtual world. Zhou Yao smiled and said, "Of course, the virtual world cares more about everyone's virtual experience. Most of the useless things will definitely be discarded, leaving only the useful ones." While the two were talking, Li Yang looked somewhere. Unseen liquor store. Li Yang was watching. Is this from our Li family? Li Yang focused on his cultivation and basically didn't care about the family's affairs, but he also knew a little bit. The Unseen liquor store was the Li family's business. Well, it belongs to our Li family. Zhou Yao nodded and said, there are also other industries, improved fruits on the earth, etc. We have many stores in this virtual world. Not only the virtual world, but also the real world. Many. And not just the Milky Way, but dozens of other galaxies. Hearing this, Li Yang smiled. I didn't expect our business to be so big. In a short period of time, the Li family's business has spread across dozens of galaxies, and this expansion rate is simply unbelievable. However, Li Yang also knew that this was normal. What is the status of the Li family now? Li Yang, it was rumored that his status was no less than that of Emperor Yang Yuan. Therefore, many people begged to do business with the Li family, hoping to have a slight relationship with the Li family and Li Yang. In most galaxies, the strongest person is only in the world realm. At the beginning, there was only one god in 1,000 galaxies, including the Milky Way. Now that Li Yang, who is comparable to Emperor Yang Yuan, is in the Milky Way, you can imagine how crazy the world realm forces in these galaxies are. Even if the Li family's business did not expand, it is estimated that the most powerful forces in other galaxies would come one by one and actively beg to cooperate with the Li family and do business together. This is still because the time is too short. When the time is enough, it is estimated that our Li family's business will be in the entire Yang Yuan star continent. Zhou Yao smiled and said, now that my Li family members are increasing, those with talent will provide resources for them to practice well, and as for those with no talent, let them manage. The two talked casually, and more than 50 years later, the population of Liang doubled again. This is not bad, Li Yang nodded. There is really no way to do it if you don't have the talent for cultivation. There are only a small number of people with the talent for cultivation anywhere. As the two of them were talking, Li Yang suddenly looked at a place not far away. That area was surrounded by some people and no one was allowed to approach. Li Yang's consciousness casually swept over it. He didn't care much. He just took a look and prepared to leave. But when he looked at it, he frowned slightly. End of this chapter. From the City to the Strongest in the Universe. Author, G. Difeng Ren. Chapter 717. Not only Li Yang, but Zhou Yao also looked over there at this time. As I write this, I hope readers will remember our domain name Taiwan Novel Network Rightward Arrow. Li Ju. She looked at the young man there and frowned slightly. Come on, let's go over and take a look. After a slight pause, Li Yang said. He walked over directly. As they approached here, there were more than a dozen people surrounding them, blocking others from approaching. However, when Li Yang and Zhou Yao approached, these dozen people seemed not to see them. At this time, there were several people in the core area surrounded by more than a dozen people. The leaders of them were obviously two young people. One of them had an indifferent look and was followed by two bodyguards. The other young man looked unwilling. There is a girl and an old man beside him. Judging from the face of this young man, he is somewhat similar to an earthling, but with red secret lines on his face and a tail growing from his back, he is obviously not an earthling. Bahan, I give you one last chance. If you don't cherish it this time, you can't blame me. The young man who was protected by the bodyguard said softly. Hearing this, Bahan, the young man with the red secret lines on his face, suddenly said angrily, Master Li Ju, that mine is the most important mine on my planet. The price you gave is too low. It is less than 10,000 yuan of the original price. 1%, how do you want me to sell it? Haha, it seems you don't want this last chance, young Li Ju said quietly. If that's the case, you can't blame me. After young Li Ju finished speaking, the girl beside Bahan said anxiously, Brother, please promise Master Li Ju, we can't fight him. Next to Bahan, the old man also sighed and said, Child, sell that mine. You are the only hope for my planet. If you are gone, no matter how many veins you have, it will be useless. After hearing what his sister and grandfather said, Bahan clenched his fists, with a look of reluctance in his eyes. The mineral vein on their planet is the most important resource. Without the mineral vein, the development of their planet will directly come to a standstill. Feeling unwilling, Bahan stared at the young man Li Ju, suppressing the anger in his heart and said, Master Li Ju, aren't you afraid of being punished if you buy and sell by force like this? Punishment. Hearing this, Li Ju smiled, in this small galaxy, who can punish me? Who dares to arrest my Li family? There was a hint of arrogance in his eyes, and he did not take the people in front of him seriously. Hearing this, the young man Bahan clenched his fists, but also remained silent. The Li family is a family from the earth. The earth is not very powerful, but the Li family is well known. Of course this is because of Li Yang. Li Yang, a peerless genius that is unbelievable to the entire human race, is a core member of the Eternal Temple, one of the giant forces of the human race. His teacher is the strongest in the human race, and his status is even comparable to the ruler of Yangyuan Star Continent. Such a status makes countless forces want to curry favor with the Li family. The entire Li family currently has only 1,000 members. In the entire Yangyuan Star Continent, there are more than 100 million galaxies like the Milky Way. The small number of people has contributed to the high status of the Li family. Usually when you meet a Li family member in the outside world, the Li family member is definitely the one with the highest status, and they are the focus of everyone's attention wherever they go. Diamond suit, diamond suit, diamond suit, diamond suit. Li Ju's face was calm, with a hint of arrogance in his eyes. In the Milky Way, and even in the entire Yangyuan Star Continent, the Li family has a respected status. What does a small Milky Way mean? Even the gods want to please their Li family, not to mention the world realm forces, who are like humble servants in front of their Li family. Growing up, the flattery of those around him created his extremely arrogant character. Of course, he didn't necessarily care much about the small mineral veins, but since Bahan accidentally offended him, he would naturally give him some punishment. For him, punishing Bahan is naturally like a god punishing ants, and he can do it with a wave of his hand. Rightward arrow. At this moment, Li Ju suddenly frowned slightly and looked somewhere, where he saw other people. Is that guard eating for free? Li Ju frowned. He had ordered the guards to surround the place and no one else could get close, but an outsider came unexpectedly. He was about to get angry, but when he saw the person coming, Li Ju was shocked. That familiar face made Li Ju's heart seem to stop beating all of a sudden, and the muscles on his face seemed to twitch, obviously frightened. That face was the face he admired most, and it was naturally engraved in his mind. It was the biggest support in his heart. Family, head of the family. Li Ju stuttered and looked at Li Yang. His eyes were full of disbelief. He actually saw Li Yang here, and Li Yang had seen everything just now. The moment it happened, Li Ju was shocked at first, and then panicked. What he did just now was obviously not a good thing. Li Yang looked at Li Ju with a calm expression. Li Ju is the youngest generation of the Li family, and is only 20 years old. Master. At this time, everyone else also saw Li Yang. When they heard Li Ju's name, their eyes showed shock. Including Nabahan, his sister and grandfather were all like this, looking at Li Yang blankly. Of course they know who the head of the Li family is. Is this the most evil genius of the entire human race, Li Yang, whose status is no less than that of the ruler of Yang Yuan Xingzhou, Emperor Yang Yuan? Li Yang looked at Li Ju with a calm face. He didn't say much, but just ordered, "You go back to Earth immediately." He didn't say anything about punishment, and then turned and left. Although he left without punishing Li Ju was still extremely panicked at this time. What I did just now was seen by the head of the family, what should I do? He still did things very secretly, even if he dealt with Ba Han, he bought the mineral veins. In this way, even if the family found out in the future, he would not be punished much. But now that Li Yang saw it with his own eyes, the situation was completely different. The Li family still had very strict requirements for the clan members, and he would never dare to do these things on Earth. On the other side, Li Yang and Zhou Yao left there, but there was no smile on their faces. Zhou Yao said angrily, "Li Ju performed very well in the family and had some talent. He was the focus of the family's training. I didn't expect that he would be like this." Her face was slightly gloomy, obviously a little ugly, and she was very disappointed with Li Ju. The Li family trains talented people. Li Ju has talent, so his status is naturally higher. Li Yang's face was not very good either, and he said, "Check Li Ju carefully. In addition to this matter, see if there are other things. At that time, many crimes will be punished together." He shook his head and said, "I didn't expect that my Li family would become a force that oppresses other planets. Before, the Earth was too weak and the Li family was too weak. Li Yang was always worried that people from foreign planets would deal with the Earth and the Li family. Even before, there was the Tianluo of the Li Emperor family to deal with his son. He was always worried until he broke through to become a god, officially joined the Human Emperor Alliance space, and even killed the Demon Emperor Suanhuo, and he finally felt relieved. With his current performance, it is absolutely impossible for the Emperor of the human race to dare to deal with his family again. The Earth is safe, and so is their Li family. However, no one dares to deal with his family now, but his Li family has begun to oppress other forces. Thanks to Zero Eta for the 100 reward, thank you." End of this chapter. From the City to the Strongest in the Universe. Author, G. Difeng Ren. Chapter 718. Li Yang was not in a good mood. Forced buying and selling, forcing other planets. These things are completely exploiting the other planet as a slave. In fact, in Li Yang's mind before, the Li family was very good and performed very well on Earth. Li Yang had an octopus clone, and now the octopus clone has the power of an emperor. Taiwan Novel Network Rightward Arrow. The octopus clone can cover the entire Earth with a single thought. According to Li Yang's knowledge, there is no case of the Li family bullying other people on the entire Earth. I didn't expect that there are none on Earth, but there are them outside. Hearing Li Yang's words, Zhou Yao nodded and said, "Li Yang, I will order you down immediately. In addition, other clan members will also check." Now the Li family's power is expanding rapidly, and many things have happened during this period. Li Yang also nodded and said, similar things will exist in any force. It would be better if we discovered it earlier. In this case, we can prepare in advance. At this time, Li Yang was also lucky to have discovered it early. Some dirty things will happen in any force or family. This is actually unavoidable, but Li Yang didn't expect that the Li family would appear after only 200 years of development. However, the sooner you catch it, the easier it will be to fix. Otherwise, when the Li family really becomes a behemoth with a population of hundreds of millions, if we check then, it will be too big. According to the current rate of expansion of the Li family, even if the population of the Li family reaches more than 100 million, it is estimated that it will not take too long. Time flies, and this time Li Yang returned to Earth from the eternal temple of the human race only a few days later. At this time, Li Yang stood silently somewhere on the bottom of the Earth. Beside him, the Soul Ink figure also floated out, and there was obviously a hint of excitement in his eyes at this time. The first thing Li Yang did when he returned to Earth was naturally to prepare for Soul Mo's resurrection. He also knew how long Han Mo had been looking forward to this day. Han Mo had helped him a lot along the way, and he was grateful in his heart. I have finally waited for this day. Han Mo was really excited at this time. This day came sooner than he thought. Looking at the excited Han Mo, Li Yang asked, Han Mo, the thing you said helped you resurrect is at the bottom of the sea. Han Mo nodded and said, Boy Li Yang, I will give you a formation, you can set it up here. A glimmer of his consciousness quickly entered Li Yang's mind, and suddenly, some information appeared in Li Yang's mind. Li Yang knew about the formation. In the past, the mother body of the gold-eating insect was hidden by the formation. Even if others passed by the area where the gold-eating insect was, they could not find it at all. Only by opening the formation can you see what is hidden in the formation. Obviously, what Han Mo said was also specially hidden by him using the formation. With Li Yang's strength, he can naturally learn a formation very quickly. Of course, he doesn't need to learn it. He just needs to follow Han Mo's instructions and follow the steps step by step. This is like a difficult problem in front of him. Li Yang doesn't know how to solve it, but the answer is here. He just needs to follow the answer. It only took 10 minutes to finally construct this formation. Buzz. The moment the formation was formed, it changed directly, and the many stripes turned into a key, and then disappeared directly. As the key disappeared, the surrounding void seemed to emit some fluctuations, and then stabilized. Everything in the surrounding void seemed to be normal, and there seemed to be no change. Huh? There seems to be a change in one space. Although there is no change in the surrounding void, how powerful is Li Yang now? He was keenly aware of an abnormality in the void. Obviously, that was the hidden space that Han Mo said. At this time, even if Han Mo didn't say it, Li Yang sensed it. He was emitting fluctuations in aura, feeling it carefully, and then terrifying fluctuations were emitted. Withstanding the fluctuations in his momentum, the surrounding void couldn't help but tremble. Crack. Then under Li Yang's gaze, a crack appeared directly in the trembling void. The cracks opened, and some strange stones appeared inside. These stones were completely black, and exuded extremely strong soul aura fluctuations. What are these? Li Yang looked carefully. As if he knew what Li Yang was thinking, Han Mo said directly, this is the soul stone. He waved his right hand, and all these soul stones came into his hands. The function of soul stones is to restore the soul. These soul stones can restore my soul to its peak state. Li Yang knew that Han Mo's soul had actually always remained, and other than exploration, it had no other purpose. After thinking for a moment, Li Yang asked, Han Mo, when your soul returns to its peak, will you be able to be resurrected? How can it be so easy? Han Mo shook his head and said, These soul stones only repair my soul. The key to my resurrection is the soul crystal. Li Yang looked at the two soul crystals. Once Han Mo said that these soul crystals were his most proud works. Under normal circumstances, even if I die, I will be resurrected in the soul crystal, and the soul crystal will not be broken. After my resurrection, I can immediately leave the soul crystal, take out these soul stones, and then restore my soul and quickly reach its peak state. Han Mo explained. Now according to what he said, he obviously needs other things to revive, and the things left on the earth cannot completely revive him. Logically, Han Mo should have prepared everything in advance. At the level of the master, there can be no omissions in doing things. But why didn't Han Mo put all the things for resurrection together? This will obviously make resurrection faster. The reason is that Han Mo didn't expect such a thing to happen. I didn't expect the soul crystal to be broken, and my remaining soul couldn't get out at all, so I could only be trapped inside. Han Mo shook his head. If Li Yang hadn't opened the crack space, he would still be trapped now, waiting hopelessly. So, the key step of my resurrection is to repair the soul crystal. As long as it is repaired, I can get out immediately. Han Mo said, and to repair the soul crystal, I can only go to the place where I made the soul crystal at the beginning, and there at least needs to reach the realm of gods to enter. No wonder hearing this, Li Yang understood and nodded. Han Mo has been waiting for him to break through and become a god. Even if he has the strength to rival the gods in the world realm, it won't work. I didn't expect there is still this relationship. And that is where the supreme sacred artifact exists. Li Yang was originally very calm, but Han Mo's next words made Li Yang's heart jump. Is the supreme sacred artifact also there? There was a hint of excitement in his eyes. The stronger he was, the more he would know the power of the supreme sacred artifact. You are listening to Novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. Please subscribe to receive new novels. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. From the City to the Strongest in the Universe. Author, G. Difeng Ren. Chapter 719. There was a hint of excitement in Li Yang's eyes. It can be said that if he now has a supreme holy weapon, then killing the emperor is like killing an ant. Even if he is a master, he has the power to fight. In the entire universe, the number of supreme holy vessels is less than the number of founders. Han Mo, you said that the place where you made the soul crystal is the location of the supreme artifact. With excitement in his heart, Li Yang couldn't help but ask again. Han Mo nodded, and when he mentioned the supreme holy weapon, there was still a hint of fear in his eyes. He looked at the excited Li Yang and said quietly, "Boy Li Yang, don't be too excited. Knowing the whereabouts of the supreme sacred artifact may not necessarily be a good thing. Do you know how I died?" He changed the subject and asked suddenly. Hearing this, Li Yang was stunned for a moment. He thought for a moment and asked, "Is it because of that supreme holy weapon?" It was impossible for Han Mo to suddenly talk about this topic, so it should have something to do with that supreme holy weapon. Yes, Han Mo nodded and took a deep breath. I died in the process of recognizing the supreme holy weapon as my master. My soul was killed and even the soul crystal was broken. Thinking of the original scene, Han Mo was still frightened. Why did he tell the whereabouts of the supreme holy artifact in front of Li Yang? For a treasure of this level, he should not tell anyone and find a way to get it. However, he had tried countless methods before, and even ended up risking his own life. Now, even if he comes face to face with that supreme holy instrument, he has no thought of recognizing its master. No matter how important the treasure is, it is not as important as your own life. After hearing what Han Mo said, Li Yang's expression kept changing. He had guessed the cause of Han Mo's death before. Han Mo is a master. The one who can kill the master is at least the top master, right? It may even be the creation ancestor who takes action. However, Han Mo also had a world-level clone before him. Even if he couldn't defeat him, he could immediately self-destruct. Unexpectedly, Han Mo did not die in the hands of other strong men, but because of a weapon. This weapon, and even the soul ink of the world tree, were not spared. Frowning slightly, Li Yang asked, Han Mo, will you die if you fail to recognize the master of the supreme holy weapon? It's useless to have a world tree clone that can be resurrected. According to the information he knew, there are only two possibilities for encountering the treasure. One is to successfully identify the owner, and the other is to fail to identify the owner. He has never heard of anyone dying during the process of identifying the owner. Of course, this may also be due to his limited knowledge. After all, the supreme sacred artifact is too rare, and there is only one in the human race, so there is no record of the consequences of failing to recognize the supreme sacred artifact as its owner. No. After Li Yang finished speaking, Han Mo shook his head directly, denying his conjecture. Even if it is the supreme holy weapon, it will not die if it fails to identify its owner, but the one I met is very special. Special? Li Yang was stunned. Other supreme holy weapons will not die if they fail to recognize their master, but the one that Han Mo said will die if they fail to recognize their master? This is obviously not good news for him. Right. Han Mo said, the supreme holy weapon is also divided into attack type, defense type, speed type, and domain binding type. For example, your human race's radiant galaxy belongs to the domain binding type. If its power is fully activated, even if it is a creation the speed of ancestor, she will be affected. Li Yang nodded. He had also obtained a restrained treasure in the killing battlefield. Under this treasure, the opponent's strength would be affected and he would not be able to exert his full strength, but his own strength would be strengthened. This is an extremely powerful auxiliary treasure. The supreme holy artifacts that exist in the universe are basically of these types, but the one I met is about souls. Soul. Hearing this, Li Yang was stunned. Is there such a type of supreme holy weapon? Of course, the soul type supreme holy weapon is what I named it. What type it belongs to will only be known if you truly recognize its owner. Han Mo shook his head. He did not recognize the supreme holy weapon, so he did not know much about its information. What he said was only his own inference. The reason why I say this is because the attack released by that supreme holy weapon is soul type. The attacks performed by general attack treasures are equivalent to amplifying one's own strength, which has nothing to do with the soul. A person's soul is only that strong. If an emperor uses a high-level holy weapon, his own strength will be improved, but if he uses a soul attack, his soul attack will not be stronger because of the high-level holy weapon. Han Mo explained, that soul-like attack, even I, who was in the realm of domination, felt a little pressure at that time. An ownerless treasure, relying solely on its own inadvertent attacks, actually puts pressure on him. You can imagine how strong the soul impact is. Therefore, Han Mo defines it as the supreme holy weapon of the soul type. The soul is very mysterious. There are still treasures related to souls in the universe, but they are very few. They can be said to be the least diverse, so most people don't know about them. Han Mo said, you'll know what's going on when you get there. He didn't say anything more and said, when the time comes, you can also try to see if you can recognize the master. Hearing this, Li Yang's heart moved and he said, Han Mo, you said that you can't even bear the soul impact, can I bear it? Li Yang still has self-knowledge. Although the supreme sacred artifact is powerful, Han Mo, who is at the level of the dominant, has not succeeded in recognizing the master. He even died because of that supreme sacred artifact. How can he succeed? Even if Li Yang's talent is amazing, there is still a huge gap between him and the dominant. Han Mo explained, that soul-type supreme sacred artifact is very strange. It has different impacts on people of different realms. I have specially tested it at the beginning. The soul impact faced by the dominant is different from that faced by the emperor level and the god level. As for recognizing the master, god, emperor, dominant, and even the founder of the world above can all recognize the master. It's just that the stronger the strength, the more stringent the requirements for recognizing the master. You are now in the god realm, but you have the strength close to the powerful emperor level. It must be much easier for you to recognize the master than me. Hearing this, Li Yang understood. The god realm can recognize the master, and the impact it bears may be 1. And the emperor level recognizes the master, and the impact it bears may be 10. When it comes to the dominant, the impact may become 100. Generally speaking, the impact force that can be sustained varies with different realms, and there is a standard for all. Of course, I will prepare for your fall in advance, and after everything is arranged, you can try again. Hun Mo said, to be honest, as long as you are not greedy and stop immediately when you feel that you can't do it, you will not die. Thanks to Hissenling for the 500 reward, and 08 for the 100 reward, thank you. From the city to the strongest in the universe. Author, G. Difeng Ren. Chapter 720. Hun Mo was greedy before and had to get that supreme holy artifact. So even if he was close to his limit in the process of recognizing the master, he was unwilling to give up, because he might be able to truly recognize the treasure in the next second. Unfortunately, even if his limit was completely reached and his soul completely collapsed, he still failed. It was impossible for the soul to improve. Even if another 100 billion years passed, he still couldn't recognize the master successfully. Hearing what Hun Mo said, Li Yang nodded and said, okay. He was also looking forward to it in his heart. The supreme holy artifact, the entire human race has only one. If he really succeeds in recognizing the master, it will definitely be an unimaginable great opportunity. While talking, swish. Not far away, suddenly a 100-meter-long octopus appeared. It was just an ordinary octopus on Earth, but the pressure hidden in its body reached an extremely terrifying level. Emperor. As Li Yang broke through, the octopus clone also broke through and possessed the strength of an emperor. At this time, even Emperor Yang Yuan was not the opponent of the octopus clone. Your octopus clone has become more powerful as your strength increases. Hun Mo glanced at Li Yang's octopus clone and said calmly, but it's still a waste. He always thought that Li Yang's octopus clone was useless and useless for the comprehension of the law. If your octopus clone is replaced with other law clones, plus your 5 law clones of Fire Ghost Beast, Time God Tree, Dark Worm King, Sky Fierce Dragon, and Thunder Star Beast, you will have 6 law clones, which can just form 3 fusion laws. And the 3 fusion laws are the key to breaking through and becoming a master. Many laws are closely related to each other. When a strong person reaches a certain level, he can completely start to deduce another law based on one law. It's like the relationship between mathematics and physics. Li Yang has now comprehended the laws of time and fire fusion, and the laws of darkness and lightning fusion. He still has the law of space that has not been fused. Of course, with Li Yang's strength, he can slowly deduce other laws corresponding to the law of space. But the effect of deduction is not as fast as being born with such a law talent. If Li Yang's octopus clone is also a law clone, it just happens to form a third fusion law with the law of space. Then Li Yang has a perfect foundation to become a master. Hearing this, Li Yang smiled and said, it's not too late now. What do you mean? Hun Mo was stunned. Under his gaze, a strange tree appeared next to the octopus clone. World Tree. Seeing this world tree, Hun Mo was surprised and said, Li Yang, can your world tree breed clones? Before, every time Li Yang broke through a realm, he gave birth to a clone. In total, he has given birth to 6 clones. Can he give birth to the 7th one now? Under normal circumstances, it is normal for other strong men who possess the world tree to give birth to one clone, and giving birth to two clones is basically the limit diamond suit. Li Yang's previous birth of Lu Ju's clone has already broken his 3 views. Can he give birth to another one now? Yes, Li Yang nodded. After the previous breakthrough, he noticed that the space for the birth of the world tree clone had changed again. He looked at Han Mo and asked, Han Mo, do you know where the Saint meteorite disappeared? Holy fall. A life form at the level of a natural emperor is obviously one level higher than the fire ghost beast, a natural god. Rightward arrow. The world tree clone actually has body fragments of other natural gods. Logically, Li Yang could have directly bred his 7th clone more than 2 months ago. But Li Yang didn't. Because he thought of the holy fall. The level of the world tree is relatively high in the universe, but at most it can only rival the level of the sky fierce dragon. The clones it breeds can only be below the life level of the sky fierce dragon, that is, clones like the thunder star beast. But as Li Yang's strength continues to improve, the level of the clones he breeds is getting higher and higher, and even the fire ghost beast clones at the level of natural gods have been bred. And now, Li Yang has broken through to become a god. In terms of basics, he is close to a powerful god who has mastered 2 fusion laws, and his soul is stronger. Now there is a possibility of breeding a stronger clone. So, Li Yang thought of Shenjiao. At this time, Li Yang's eyes flashed. Ambition. There was obviously ambition in his eyes. Shenjiao, a life of the natural emperor level, is said to have mastered 3 fusion laws at birth. If Li Yang can breed it, it will be of great benefit to him. So, he has not bred it for the time being, at least he has to find Shenjiao to try. With his talent and the inheritance land, he is actually not in a hurry to breed the next law clone. Even if it has just been bred, in the inheritance land at most a few decades, his 6th law can be fully mastered. So Li Yang is not in a hurry at all. Shenjiao is his first choice. If he has not found Shenjiao after fully mastering the 2 fusion laws, he will immediately breed the next natural god clone and start to comprehend the 3rd fusion law. Shenjiao. Hearing Li Yang's words, Han Mo understood Li Yang's plan at once. He was surprised and said, Li Yang boy, are you still planning to breed Shenjiao clone? His eyes were full of surprise, and he was obviously shocked by Li Yang's idea. The ancestral dragon is recognized by the outside world as a natural ruler. And Shen Yun, who is recognized by the outside world as a natural emperor, is only one realm apart from the other. How do you know it won't work if you don't try? Li Yang smiled. It's okay if it fails, but if it succeeds. Li Yang's eyes flashed, and if he really breeds a Shen Yun clone at the level of a natural emperor, his chances of breaking through and becoming a master will greatly increase. How could he not try? He didn't have the strength before, but now, his strength is not weak in the universe, and he has many clones. He can naturally look for it. Looking at the smile on Li Yang's face, Han Mo nodded and said, since you are ready to look for it, I will tell you. He told Li Yang the location, and Li Yang remembered it firmly. The place where the demon clan Shen Yun disappeared and fell is also far away from where Han Mo is going. But Li Yang has enough time now, so he can just take his time, and there is no need to rush. Okay, Li Yang, I'm going to use the soul stone to restore my soul. It will take about 3 years, and we'll set off in 3 years. I've also left a space teleportation array at the seabed, so we can just teleport there when the time comes. After saying this, Han Mo said no more nonsense. He moved and took the soul stone directly into the soul crystal. 3 years. Li Yang looked at Han Mo who was refining the soul stone in the soul crystal. He didn't stay here anymore, but moved and disappeared. When he appeared again, he appeared at home. End of this chapter.